Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ella and today I'm going to do something I've never done before, which is a reading vlog, but specifically a 12-hour reading vlog. I've done one other reading vlog a while ago, a year or 2 years ago. I think it wasn't 2 years ago, I don't know. But I'm going to do a 12-hour reading vlog for the first time, and I'm going to break that up into 2 different days. So today I'm going to read 5 or 6 hours, and then tomorrow I'll read whatever I still have left over, and I'm very excited. So I'm going to move locations where the sun is not in my face and show you the books that I've picked out that I'm hoping I get to in this reading vlog. So let's do it. Location has been changed. So I've got a stack of books here that we're gonna try and hit during this 12-hour reading vlog. Let me tell you a little bit about what we got. I am currently reading 7 Days in June. I'm about halfway through. I'm on page 150 out of like a little over 300, I think. So I'm gonna start with this one, obviously, and hope to finish this one first. But then after this, I'm probably going to jump into Les Mis. Obviously, I am not going to come anywhere close to finishing this book in a 12-hour reading vlog, but I want to get started because I honestly should have started like 2 weeks ago, because I have a goal of finishing this book by the end of July, and I haven't started it yet, and it is like July 3rd. So I hope to at least get like 100 pages into this throughout the vlog, just so I can get my brain going on it, and then hopefully continue throughout the month reading a little bit every day of this chunky boy. Finally, of my hopefuls is Old Venus. This is a library book, as you can see by the glossy cover. It's edited by George R.R. Martin, but it's a collection of short stories by all of these authors here. I need to read this soon anyway, because I have to turn it in soon, so I would love to get a little bit into this one as well. Again, I'm not expecting to finish this within the reading span of time, but I would like to get started into it so I can create the habit of reading it, if you know what I'm saying. Okay, so we know what we're gonna read, so we're gonna start with this. So I'm gonna set you up in a corner. I'm gonna get some hydration. I'm already like halfway into an energy drink. I did work today. I am very tired, but we're gonna power through and read as much as I can today so that I don't have to read the whole day tomorrow. And yeah, I will check in with you when something interesting has happened or I have finished the book. So let's do it. Also, grab your own book / snack and enjoy with me. All right, here we go. Okay, quick check-in. The chapter that I was just reading we're like halfway through the book, right? And this whole time we've been swapping between 2 perspectives. Eva, who's the main female character, and then Shane, who's the main male character, and past and present, which is fine. It's just we're already doing a lot of swapping. And then this chapter, halfway through the book, we have now swapped for just this one chapter, I'm assuming, Eva's daughter's perspective, Audrey, which was very jarring. I was very confused, like, why are we reading from Audrey's perspective right now? It was fine, but it's just like, as soon as Audrey has a conversation with her mom again, everything that she was internalizing in this chapter is just going to be brought up again. So I don't know why we needed an entire chapter of her perspective, because it's definitely going to be discussed like the next time we see Eva with Audrey. So I don't know. This was like the one chapter that I haven't really liked so far. I've been loving the book, but I just don't understand why we just had a whole chapter from Audrey's perspective. Yeah, I mean, Audrey's going through it in her own way, but she's gonna have to talk to her mom about that, so we're gonna see it anyway. I don't know. Moving on. Just wanted to check in. Hello, this is the shaky cam update. I will try not to shake too much. I've been reading for like 2 hours. Here, 9:58. That's the time that we have left. I'm on page 225 of 7 days in June. I'm very sleepy, as you can tell. I'm taking a brief pause, maybe a snack break, maybe I'm gonna take a shower. But I just wanted to update you. I'm on page 225 out of like 320, so I have like 100 pages left. We've hit the third act sadness. It's very good. I'm loving it. I need a little break though. Just wanted to let you know that's where we are. That's the update. Hi, I don't know when I spoke to you last, but it is the next day. I don't know what to tell you, but I am gonna give you an update. I am like 70 pages from the end of this book. I have 9 hours to do today. It is 6 p.m. and I have a plan at 8, so probably not gonna finish today. Clearly, this is gonna be a 3-day event, but I am gonna try and finish the book before my thing at 8 and then check back in with you. So far, loving it. I think the last thing I said, it was like the sad part. I can't remember, but I will give you a full review when I've finished it, hopefully soon. Hello, it is time for another update. It is Saturday, so day number 3. I said this was gonna be tough for me, but I'm not gonna be too hard on myself because I have accomplished a lot of reading, and that's the point, right? Next time I do this, I will try and condense it to an appropriate time span, like 1 or 2 days. But that being said, we did finish 7 days in June. I'm thinking it's like a 4.5. I really liked it. It is a second chance romance. It follows 2 main characters, Eva and Shane, who when they were teenagers, they spent 7 days in June together, and we don't exactly know what happened, but then in present day, it's 15 years later. Clearly something was going on between them, and then they meet up, they run into each other again 15 years later in June and rekindle, kind of go through what happened. It's very emotional. There's like traumatic moments. They both have like a traumatic background, and it's just really beautiful and sweet. And there is like a really nice cast of side characters that you get to see a bit of. I think I did talk about the chapter that's from Audrey's perspective, which is Eva's daughter. I didn't love it at the time because it was the first chapter where we had switched POVs, but then subsequently after that moment, we switched POVs like 2 or 3 more times to other side characters, so it became fine because I got used to it. I just was not expecting it at the time. But yeah, Audrey's a good example of a really good side character. And their love story is so cute, and I really like it. And I'm kind of tough on romances. It's not really my genre. I haven't read a whole lot of them. But I would say this is probably one of my favorite romances and one of my favorite books that I've read so far this year. Just like, that's how much I liked it. It was really good. Their romance is really good. The story, I think I forgot to mention, they are both writers, and they've both been writing to each other secretly in their books throughout the years. Eva writes adult fantasy erotica, and Shane writes like lit fic books, and both of them have characters in their stories that are like representative of each other, and it's very sweet and very cute. And yeah, they both grow a lot, and then they grow together, and it's awesome. So I would highly recommend this one, and it's a good book. I liked it. I'm about to start Les Mis. I've got 7 hours left. I don't know if I'm gonna do all that today. I'm gonna do my very best, I promise you. But I am gonna start with Les Mis, and I'm gonna read 2 or 3 chapters, depending on how long they are, just to try and get a feel for it. And then I might swap to a different book, but I will let you know. Hello, update time. It's been a while since I talked to you. I did take a break, took a shower, had dinner, watched an episode of The Righteous Gemstones, which is one of my favorite shows. But before that, I was reading for a while. Let's see, I have 3 hours left, and as you can see, it's about midnight, so I'm probably not going to do all that tonight, but I'll try maybe do another hour of reading and then do 2 more hours tomorrow morning and then upload this video. But let me update you on Les Miserables. So I have been reading this since the last time we spoke. You can see some of my annotations here. I'm on page 63. That doesn't sound like a lot considering I've been reading it for several hours. Important things to note, I am a slow reader. That's part of the problem. The second thing is I'm annotating this book, as you can tell, and that always takes me longer because I'm analyzing the text more than I would normally and looking for things that I want to take note of. And there's a lot to take note of in this book especially. And when it's a classic like this, so there tends to be some parts that are more difficult for me to understand just because of like the language and the way it's written and the things that it's referencing. So I have to like reread paragraphs or look things up to fully understand what is being said. But I am loving it. I have finally gotten to the part where Jean Valjean shows up, which is, like I said, about 60 pages in. The whole first bit is following the priest who, I don't know if you've seen the movie, that's what I'm referencing because I've only seen the movie of Les Mis and I'm gonna see the play later this month. But the movie starts out, you get introduced to this priest very early on. Maybe not at the very beginning, but very early on. You're introduced to this priest, and that's who we're following for the first 60 pages of the book. Great character, great like story and things that he's going through. But I'm excited to finally have Jean Valjean enter the scene because he is one of the main characters and I love him. Update, I just spoke to you. I got like 8 pages into the first short story and I'm just gonna decide to not read this because I don't know what I was thinking. I'm brainstorming, outlining, coming up with my own creative ideas for a book that I want to write that's on the planet Venus. So I don't know what I was hoping to glean from this, maybe some like creative juices and ideas of like the types of stories that have been told, but now that I'm getting into it, it's just none of it really applies to me, and I also don't want to like mistakenly like subconsciously get ideas from this and not know that it's from this. So I'm just gonna DNF it. And the first short story it wasn't that interesting, and I flipped through a little bit of the other ones. It just wasn't really what I was going for and not a book that I'm interested in reading on its own merit. So I'm just not gonna put myself through the trouble, and I'm gonna return this to the library and move on to a different book. But I think that is gonna be all the reading that I do for tonight. Hello, it's the next day. I have about an hour and a half left of reading that I need to do, and I'm going to be picking between some books that I haven't shown you yet just because that's where my head is right now. So it's all library books that need to be read soon anyway, but I'll show you what I'm going to be flipping between. So we've got The Secret Lives of Planets. It's not very long, and I'm not going to read this whole book anyway. I'm just gonna get the information that I need from it. So I will be flipping between that, this book, which is Write Your First Novel, which is obviously a nonfiction book, and then I have these 2 books that I also need to read. So I've got the feminism book and the astronomy book, which are part of a cool series of nonfiction books, which are like very brief bits of information about important figures and things that happened and these movements that it's about. So I'm going to take the hour and a half and flip between all of these books and take notes. And yeah, I will check in with you when we are all done. That's it. I'm calling it. We got a lot of good reading done. Let's just jump into what was accomplished on this 12-hour readathon that took 3 days and was very disjointed, but let's jump into what we finished. So we finished 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. I can't remember if I said my rating when I talked about it before, but I am giving it a 4.5. It was very good. It's probably one of my favorite books of the year. I would highly recommend it, especially as someone who is very picky about the romance that I read and like. I really liked this romance, so that's a high recommendation from me specifically. Then I got a little over 60 pages into Les Mis, where I'm annotating it. That doesn't sound like a lot, but it is a lot for me because I've been putting off starting this for a while, and I feel like that's a good start. I just need to keep that up. I'm definitely going to read a little bit more of this tonight, but I want to go ahead and get this video up because I've been working on it for too long and it's time to put it up. But I will definitely keep you updated throughout the month that it's hopefully going to take me to read this. Maybe longer, but I'm going to do my best to finish it before the end of the month. Really liking this, as I said. Les Mis is a great story. If you don't know about Les Mis, I would recommend you watch the movie. It's very good. It's a little long. It's a musical, just so you're aware. But it's a classic. It's a French classic. It's translated. It's very good. I highly recommend it, although I haven't read the book. I highly recommend the movie / musical. Then we tried to read Old Venus. I read the introduction and a little bit of the first story, and then I skimmed some of the other stories, and it just isn't really what I was interested in. This is actually my second time having this sent to my library from a different library, because the first time I didn't read it, and then this time I'm like, I'm definitely gonna read it, and then I start reading it and I'm like, why did I get this? Because I'm not actually interested in the content of the stories, which is about an old Venus, the idea of what Venus would have been like before we knew scientifically what Venus is like. It's not what I'm interested in, and I'm not like gleaning anything creatively from the book, so I'm not gonna waste my time on it. So this was a DNF. And then with the little time I had today, I started The Secret Lives of Planets. I took some notes. I skipped to the part where they're talking about Venus, and I've read a little bit of this and I took some notes on that. And then I flipped a little bit through the feminism book. I'm gonna look at both of these more tonight. Like I said, I'm definitely gonna do more reading later today. I just wanna get the video up. But yeah, I flipped through this, and then I read a few pages out of this and took some notes, which I'm liking both of these so far. I like this one especially because it's big text, and like it's pretty short, so I'm understanding it a lot, and I haven't learned anything I haven't already learned in my expedition of finding information about Venus. I guess let's do some Venus fun facts for you from the top of my head. Venus is very hot, as you can imagine. Well, you know what? Maybe you don't know anything about Venus. Venus is like the hottest planet in our solar system. It's completely covered by white cloud, which is made up of acid, I think. But recently they've discovered some sort of chemical in that layer that might prove that there was life on Venus, or is life on Venus, in like a biological, what am I trying to say? Not biological, like a microbial scale, perhaps. What else could I tell you? Fun facts about Venus. Venus has a lot of mountains. I'm pretty sure every single landmark on the planet of Venus is named after a female person, like a female mythological person or a real person, because Venus obviously is named after the goddess of beauty. It's the morning star, the evening star. It is our twin planet, and could be an indication of what happens to our planet if we don't take care of our climate, which doesn't seem like we're going to, because we have to take care of the billionaires for some fucking reason. But yeah, Venus is cool. There's not a lot of like information on Venus specifically, and the thing that I'm writing is going to be taking place on Venus, so that's why I've got all these space books and feminism books. It goes together. Hopefully one day you'll see what I'm talking about. Anyway, that is your Venus fast facts. Thank you so much for watching this video. I pinky promise the next time I do any kind of like timed readathon, I will do a better job. Okay, this is my first time doing it. I didn't anticipate how difficult it would be for me in the stage of reading that I am in right now, like with my slow reading and bad attention span. But I had fun. I actually finished a book, which is actually a feat for me currently. And yeah, so hopefully the next time will be better. And I would like to do a Summerween reading challenge soon, probably this month, later in the month. So keep an eye out for that. But anyway, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me what your favorite book from this video is. Did I interest you in anything, any of these genres of books? And I will see you in the next video. Bye!